how did we get into triple digit flips?
Well, it came from the same. It's interesting, right? So Pace and Jamil Do America was what? About collaboration over competition. Mm-hmm. And the story of how the TV show came was exactly the seed of that, or the fruit of that seed, okay? So Pace and I are actually competing on a deal. We don't know we're competing on a deal. Ryan LaRue, who is a wholesaler, local wholesaler, he sends Pace a deal and he sends me a deal. And he sends it to me at a price and I say, I'll take it. He sends it to Pace at a price. Pace says, I'll take it. He comes to me and says, hey, I got a guy who will, take it. Can you come up $5,000? Sure. He goes to Pace and he says, hey, I got a guy who'll come up $5,000. Will you come up $10,000? Pace is like, sure. So he goes up $10,000. And then he comes to me, he's like, hey, I got a guy who'll come up $10,000. Will you come? I'm like, come on, dude, really? Mm-hmm. Like, what's happening now? I'm like, yes, but this is it, okay? So he goes back to Pace and he's like, I got a guy who'll come up $15,000. Can he come up 20? So now Pace is like, oh, bro, I don't even know if I can do this. So he sends the deal to me because I was helping Pace comp back then, right? Not that he needs the help. At that point, he didn't want to. He'd send it to me probably because he didn't care to, right? And he was gonna use me to dispo it anyways. So he wanted to know what my threshold was to do the deal. So he sends it to me and I'm like, hilarious. You're the guy that I'm competing against here. I'm like, wow. And he's like, really? It's you? I'm like, yeah, man. Like we're both bidding each other up here. I'm like, okay, why don't we just do the deal together? He's like, cool. All right. So I drop out. Pace gets the deal. And, gets the price back to where it needs to be because I'm gone now. And so Pace closes on it, and we decide to do the deal together. So he calls me up, and he's like, hey, I closed on it. Why don't you and Bobby come out, and we'll shoot a YouTube video? And so he goes live on IG. I go live on IG. And we're like, hey, we're going to be at this address. We're going to shoot a video, do a first walkthrough of this house. If you want to join us, come out. 50 people show up. And we walk through this house. And this house is a pigsty. It just also happened to be owned by a police officer. I'm not using any puns here, but anyways, it was a pigsty, and it was the funniest thing because I'm putting on the cop's jacket and there was a mountain of dust and it was just terrible. Anybody can go to Pace's old YouTube or Pace's YouTube and find that. It's called The Real Deal, episode 1 maybe even. Anyhow, it's funny, it's great, it's Pace and I doing our thing, and a production company sees it. Mm-hmm. And they're like, these guys are incredible. We need to meet them. So they start emailing me, and I don't respond. They start emailing Pace, and, he responds. And they're like, we've been trying to get a hold of Jamil. He's ignoring us, and, we think you guys are great. You guys are partners? He's like, no, actually, we compete. Even better. Mm-hmm. Can you hop on a Zoom and talk to us about doing a potential TV show? Pace calls me up. I'm like, dude, none of these things are real. Remember, I was in Hollywood once upon a time. I was trying to be a comedian. This is all BS. They're going to try to tell us to pay them $50,000 to do a pilot, and then they're gonna go shop it and blah blah blah, bro. It's just a scam. He's like, no, they say they're from A&E. I'm like, really? So they email us, and it's from @A&E Networks. I'm like, okay, we'll hop on a Zoom. Yeah. So we hop on a Zoom, and there it was. They were real. And a few months later, there's a production company following us around with cameras, and we're on national television.
What kind of doors did that open for you?
I mean, having a TV show is interesting and fun, right? Because it's a lot of work. Don't let anybody tell you it's not a drag sometimes, and it's not hard, and it can get really difficult to do and make a TV show. But, I think a thing that a TV show does for you is it's a massive credibility play, right? You're now in the mainstream. You're now just not only, on YouTube, you're on television, and being on television still is a thing. It's still it's the highest level of media that we've got, right? And so it opens a lot of doors. It basically is the master key to any door I want to open. There were rooms that I could have never gotten into in the past. And now if the email is like, A&E television star Jamil Damji would like to have a conversation with you, it's like, when?
Yeah.
Instead of who?
Right.
Right? So the W's changed.
Mm-hmm. What is the biggest door that's been open for you guys?
Because of the television show, I think the relationship with our producer has been an incredible door. Brad Holkman, shout out to him. He's a wonderful person. It's grown our communities for sure, right? It's helped us just elevate the number of eyeballs we have. Just straight reach and impact is amplified because millions of people watch you. Yeah. So, beyond that, I think we still have our work to do, right? It's not like all of a sudden I'm on a Gatorade commercial. That didn't happen, right? I don't have, Home Depot being like, hey, Jamil, you're really good at sawing things. Come out here and, show people how to use this saw. No, I didn't get an endorsement deal or nothing like that. But I got eyeballs. And what I do now, because remember now people are paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
It gives me currency, right? Now what I do with that currency, I can now use, and I can use that to impact more lives.